Well, I just started a new job and they pay every 2 weeks, and I came in the middle of a pay period, so I have to wait 3 weeks for my first paycheck. So that means I'm low on cash. I'm really low on cash. So what are we going to do about that? Well, we're going to review a cheap beer. We're going to review Old Milwaukee. This, I believe, came out sometime in the 1930s. I checked Wikipedia. They said 1930s, and I'm like, well, that's good enough for me. And this was originally brewed by the Schlitz Brewing Company. Now, of course, Schlitz got bought out by Stroh's, which got bought out by PBR, which got bought out by Miller, which, you know, we can keep going, and you know, Molson Coors and everything. We can go forever when it comes to who's buying what and, you know, all that. Anyway, this, give you a quick look at the can. Oh, the camera shifted. That's annoying. Oh, let's adjust that. There we go. Take a look at the can. Looks very just like almost 1970s. This looks like what a just middle-aged man in the Midwest would be drinking when he's listening to a ball game, or if he's working on his pickup. Like, I can just see Red Foreman from that 70s show drinking a ton of these after Eric done pissed him off about something. Anyway, it's 4.6% alcohol by volume, and this is definitely a sub-premium brand. This is a discount brand. I got a 12-pack of this for roughly about $8.50, a 12-pack, so it's cheap. Like I said, I'm low on cash, so cheap is what I need. I got the sun sitting right in front of me, kind of in the eyes, a little distracting, but not too bad. I got some trees in front of me, kind of covering that up. Color-wise, it's pale. This is an American Adjunct Lager. It looks like it should look, you know, got a okay head. I actually I started a review a couple minutes ago, poured the beer, and I just got all tongue-tied, and I was like, God damn it. So I went ahead and just drank that beer and started another one. I had a better head on that other beer, though, but a decent head when you pour it aggressively, of course. Like I said, 4.6% alcohol by volume, right in the ballpark, right in the middle of what American lagers should be as far as alcohol content. Let's take a whiff. Oh, wow. Not a huge amount of smell, but it almost smells like if you're standing next to someone who just opened a thing of honey. Like, it has that sweetness to it, but that's about it. It's very faint, but I do pick up that sweetness. Other than that, it's just kind of clean water, you know, par for the course, not a whole lot of smell. Yeah, just a little bit of a sweetness. But we're not here to smell the beer. I don't know about you. I'm not. I'm here to drink this dang thing. So let's go ahead and take a swallow. Flavor-wise, it is what it's supposed to be. It's very light, clean, refreshing. I watched a couple of reviews of this. I've had this once before, and I don't remember a lot about it. So I went ahead and I went to the liquor store, and I was like, fuck it, let's get Old Milwaukee. And when I was watching, a lot of the people just going like, it's clean, it's crisp, it's refreshing, and I definitely agree. The main character I get, you do get a little bit of a corniness. So of course there's adjunct in this. I mean, a beer this cheap, that's to be expected. But also, white bread. Like, I'm getting just white sandwich bread, little bread crust, and just a hint of a sweetness. Other than that, there's not a lot there. I don't get really anything in the way of hops. Yeah, John Anelli with Georgia Beer Reviews, by the way, great reviewer. I don't know why I'm shouting him out. He should be shouting me out. He's more well known within the beer community than I am. But anyway, good reviews. He mentioned there's a little bit of a hop bite at the end. I don't really get that, but I'm not really that sensitive to, or at least I'm not really good at picking up hops in American Adjunct Lagers. Although, like I said, it is clean and crisp at the end, dry finish. That might be where the hops are coming in. I believe he said this is 12 IBUs. So that could be what the hops are doing. It's not really a, excuse me, it's not as much of a flavoring agent as it is just something to dry the beer out at the end. And I mean, with 12 IBUs, you're not going to get much flavor from the hops. Although, I'm getting a lot of flavor from that chicken salad sandwich I had a couple minutes ago. That burp really put that forward. Anyway, you're not here to listen to me describe my burps. You're here to listen to me describe beer. And this is, for the price, a fantastic beer. I'm going to go ahead and say it's great. I mean, for the price and for the style, this is a fine example of what an American adjunct lager should be. It is sweet, but it's also very mild. You don't get a huge hop bitterness like I mentioned. It's not heavy. The palate is, it's light, a little watery, but I'm still getting beer flavor. Now, like, if you're a Bud Light or Michelob Ultra drinker, you might take a sip of this and go, oh, that's a little funky or something. But if you drink just regular beer, your Bud Miller Coors, you're definitely going to be at home drinking this. And I may say it's a little bit cheaper than Bud, and at least Coors as well. Miller, I did get a 12-pack of this, and I also got a 12-pack of Miller High Life. I think the High Life for a 12-pack of cans was roughly like $8.60, $8.70, so there's like a 10-20 cent difference, which when it comes to that small of a difference, I could care less. It's just mainly if it's coming down to 10 or 20 cents and it's the same style of beer, I'm not one to really care as much about the presentation and the packaging, but when it comes to that small of a difference, I might go, fuck it, that looks more attractive to me. Or like, say if it comes down between, Hams and PBR, I might go, well, I ain't had Hams in a minute, so I'll get Hams. But anyway, back to this Old Milwaukee, it's a fine example, and believe it or not, for as cheap as it is, this has won some gold medals at the Great American Beer Festival. It's just sad though that Old Milwaukee has kind of fallen out of favor with the American beer drinker. From what I've heard and seen back in the day, Old Milwaukee was a pretty popular beer. It was, you could say in the big, in the top 10 of beer drank or beer consumed, the amount of beer within the United States. Like at one time, I think this was the first beer to come out with the beer ball. Now, that's before my time, but back in the day, this beer and some other beers would come in a, I believe, a 5-gallon ball. It's similar almost to how nowadays you'll see the little kegs of Heineken. It was basically kind of a keg system. You had a ball, you had a party, get a couple of them, put your fucking, keg tops in it, and, you got draft beer. I know Bud Light did it, a couple other brands did it, but from what I've heard, Old Milwaukee was the first. Also, I know Old Milwaukee came out with a light and a ice. Never seen those. Also, they have a non-alcoholic version. Never even heard of that until today. I just Googled it and found it. And as far as availability, at least here in Georgia, it's not as readily available as some of the other Pabst or Miller brands out there. Like PBR you can find everywhere, High Life you can find everywhere, some of their other brands you can find everywhere, but as far as like Schlitz and Old Milwaukee, it's kind of difficult to find. I can find Old Milwaukee okay. There's only been one store I found around here that I can find Schlitz. But as far as Old Milwaukee goes, the only types of I guess containers I can find it in is a 6-pack of the 16-ounce cans. And now I did get this in a 12-pack, but until today, that was all I could find was a 6-pack of 16-ounce cans. And just to let you know how popular this beer is, they came out, I believe, a year, maybe 2 years ago, a series of cans with pinup girls, like 1950s style pinup girls on the cans. They look kind of cool. That's when I first tried it, was with the pinup girls, and it caught my eye. I was like, screw it, I'll try it. A classic beer brand. It can't be that bad. And I remember it being okay. I don't remember it being this good. But just to show you how, how this beer isn't really consumed as much as you would think, or as much as it once was. I'm still going to gas stations, and normally it's kind of run down gas stations, I'm going to be honest, and some liquor stores, and they have the same cans. Now, maybe they're just sticking with that can design for the 16-ounce cans, but I'm kind of assuming it's just no one's buying this, and it's a damn shame. This is a quality beer, like I've said, a fine example of what an American adjunct lager should be. It's clean, crisp, refreshing. You got a little breadiness, you got a little sweetness from the corn. There's no off flavors. Some of the cheaper beers, I'll get a hint of metallic taste. Even with Budweiser, I can get a tad metallic taste every once in a while. But with this, it's a beer that tastes like a beer, and it's clean, and it's refreshing, and I got a 12-pack in there. Odds are that 12-pack might not be around at the end of the night. It's very drinkable. And the fact that I not only got a 12-pack of Milwaukee, but I got a 12-pack of High Life as well. And High Life is one of my favorite cheap beers, and I have yet to open that 12-pack. Really says something. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a rating. I've noticed some of my ratings, like I think on my PBR review, I gave like a 6.5 or a 7. That's a little bit of too harsh of a score, because I'm going to start scoring more according to the style. Which, if you watch the whole video, you'll see, oh, he likes PBR, just like I like Old Milwaukee. I think for the style and for the price, 8 out of 10 is very reasonable. Some people might even go higher than that. There's, like I said, no off flavors. You know, we can sit here and bitch and complain and go, oh, well, there's corn in this beer, it's adjunct, it's an inferior beer. You know, I can go get Michelob, you know, original lager, all malt beer, it's way better. I mean, sure, I guess technically from a quality perspective, and I know I need to get a haircut, hairs in my eyes, from a quality perspective, it might be better. Or from a beer traditionalist, you know, who lives and dies by the Reinheitsgebot, the Germany purity law, or the German purity law, you might go, oh, this is an inferior beer, it has adjunct. But from just a regular beer drinker's perspective, this is a damn fine beer. I'm going to go 8 out of 10. There's a reason this has won gold at the Great American Beer Festival before. And for the price, and just for the drinkability, and for the smoothness, and for just the overall deal, the overall beer is just fantastic. Like I said, it's light, it's crisp, it's refreshing, but you still get flavor. You get a little, you know, you get a dryness at the end. You have that light white bread character. You have a little bit of a bread crust along with it, a little bit of a sweetness that might be attributed to the corn, but overall a damn fine beer and a good example of why I like American adjunct lagers. I drink craft beer, but still I'll have a couple craft beers, you know, different styles and everything in my fridge, but I'll always have a good old cheap beer, probably a case of it sitting around as well. 8 out of 10. A damn fine beer, and if you have it around your area and you haven't tried it yet, go ahead and try it. Worst case scenario, you don't like it, but for 8 and some change for a 12-pack, it's not a big deal. Anyway, like, rate, subscribe if you care to. Make sure to spay and neuter your pets, and most importantly, once you get done drinking a couple of these old Milwaukees, make sure to kill your local pedophile. Have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow.